Nasterclass number 5. When you laugh at yourself, you heal yourself. I tell a story about Mel Tillis. Now, you know Mel Tillis is a great set of pipes, but when he talks, he stutters. This is a story Mel Tillis tells. And I'm going to tell the story as Mel tells it, and I'm going to stutter. Please don't think I'm making fun of stuttering people. If you stutter, have a family member that stutters. It's not what I'm doing. Have to stutter to prove the point of the story. Got it? Here we go. Mel Tillis, 13 years old, went door to door, sold more Bibles than anybody in his Bible study. And he did this by going door to door and say, would you like to buy a Bible today? Or should I read it to you? Great. Mel tells that story. Everybody laughs. He pulls the rug out from under people because he laughs at himself. He laughs at himself because he stutters. And you know, if you're around people that stutter, you're in that place around them, you get uncomfortable. You don't know what to do or say. You feel uncomfortable. And if you stutter, you have a family member that stutters, especially as a kid, you're terrorized. You're going to be called on at school or have to talk because people will make fun of you, which increases the stuttering. So I told that story on a cruise ship I was on about Mel Tillis. And I get an email the next week from a guy named Chris Cilio. And he said, hey, I want to compliment you. I enjoyed your presentation. And you're a great stutterer. And he had his phone number on there. So I called him. I said, Chris, what do you mean I'm a great stutterer? And he said, David, I stutter. I'm a stutterer. He said, I'm a doctor and I work with suicide and depression patients in my clinic. He said, but I stutter. And he said, we had a great conversation. I brought him to Kansas City, put him in the series and interviewed him about how he's gotten through life as a stutterer, and it's possible to find the humor in it. And he told this story. Working the Suicide Hotline in Los Angeles, a guy that stutters. And people are calling. This is serious. They're thinking about ending their life. And Chris is trained to say, are you thinking about killing yourself? And he said, David, I can never get it out. Are you thinking about He said, I couldn't get it out. And he said, I'm thinking on the other end of the phone, somebody may be thinking, couldn't I have found somebody a little more professional than this? I'm thinking, this is serious stuff. And Chris said that got him to laugh. And when he laughed, then he got over the stuttering and went on with talking to him. But he said something amazing happened at this moment. And I'm going to make a very bold statement here, which I love to do. What you think is wrong with you, what you think is your deficiency, is really your gift to give to humanity. Check it out. Dr. Cilio got that. Are you thinking about And he said, the person on the other end of the phone said, are you okay? He said, when I stutter, and even in talk with my clients, and they see me stutter, they see my vulnerability, and they have compassion, and they're more likely to open up to me. So his stutter actually gets people to open up to him. By the way, we have permission to use this story from Chris and the woman who told Chris the story. No names, though. This woman was a client of Chris's, and she tried to kill herself 100 times. 4 times she succeeded, and they brought her back. After the last time they brought her back and she's talking to Chris in her office, she's going on and on and on and on about being a perfectionist. And Chris just listens to her patiently and finally says, wait a second, you're a perfectionist? She says, yes, I am. He said, aren't these failed attempts at suicide kind of bothering you a little bit? And she got the joke. He made a joke. She got the joke and started laughing. But by the way, before I tell that story, I have to tell this. It's important you know this. Chris says, I'm a therapist. And the reason I use that, he said, that's not probably a common practice or a technique a therapist may work with somebody. But here's the secret that I told you before by Dr. Fred Dodini. Chris knew her. And she knew Chris. And she knew Chris's intentions. And Chris knew her well enough to do this. He admits this is not a common practice he uses with patients, but he knew this would work with her. Again, when using humor, you got to know your audience. You got to know who you're dealing with. That's very important. Now, I talked to Chris yesterday. This would have been when he interviewed her 10 years ago. Folks, after that, she never tried to kill herself. It's been 10 years. She's still alive. She never once tried to kill herself after that. When you laugh at yourself and you realize the absurdity of yourself, you heal yourself. Now, Dr. Cilio, when he came and did the interview, at the studio in Kansas City and got confidence doing that, he now is with an improv group in the Bay Area in San Francisco. He's on stage now performing in an improv group. And when he laughs, when he stutters, he laughs at himself and uses that in his presentation. When you laugh at yourself, you heal yourself. You heal yourself emotionally. You take away the shame. That's this class. Got it? Think funny. Oh, by the way, The next class is how you laugh at your emotional self, especially when you're going through breast cancer. That's the next class. That'll be number 6. Keep laughing. Laugh at yourself. Heal yourself. Think funny. Stay amused. See you next time. Hey, don't forget to laugh for 20 seconds.